Hello, Shirley and Alan. So, on my multiple trips out there, while I was giving thought to everything, your dog was a very wonderful companion. So, I figured I'd start this presentation out with sort of a goofy picture that just happened to take place. So, let me take you on a tour of my ideas. So, this journey starts with this area through here. What I wanted to do is, as you're coming down the driveway, I wanted to have something that would grab the attention in this location. That would say, hey, there's more things going on this landscape composition. Look in this direction. So this is how that transpired in terms of how it looks. What I wanted to do was to have a rock structure that grabs your attention and then begins to lead you down to the main patio area. In this composition, one of the things that I've put a lot of thought to is how do we make this artistic, but also keep it so that it's very low on maintenance. And the way that I recommend that we do that is by the use of boulders and stone. I've kept the planting of this very, very simple. Let's zoom in here a little bit more. This is a motif that I have throughout the landscape where we have upright boulder arrangements and then just very, very simple plantings. This would be something like just an autumn or a holly fern through here. Otherwise, nature has really given you an absolutely beautiful landscape. Let me show you this view from a different perspective. So in this location, the way that this becomes is what you see here. The idea is that this would be gravel. If you have a larger family function and it sounds like your family is growing, you need a lot of parking space. And I felt like along the side, it's going to be difficult for people to park here. So that's why I brought the parking area more up into the pasture area as you go through the gate. So this is gravel, and then the main part of this begins with some sort of either a flagstone or paver walkway that takes you down to, you can just see the Christmas tree where all the action is happening back in there. So we're going to go down this path and we're going to look back on it. So we were just up here. We walk down this path. There may be some places where we need to do some stairs for sure in this location. And this is a location that I really want to focus on making those stairs look big. In other words, it is an exciting part of this landscape composition. Other things that I wanted to do was to lead the eye down this pathway. And that again is by having the motif of the boulders through here. But not only do I want to have focal points, I also want it to be really fascinating at night. And that's why I've come up with the idea of having these boulders almost look like they're floating and having landscape lighting underneath them so that they're lit from beneath. So as we come down this pathway, we're going to cross the stream, and I'll show you more photos of the bridge idea that I have for that. I also wanted to just highlight, we can have this pathway branch off to go over here to the bridge, but I'm leaving that for you as an option. So let's go to the main area, which is right in here. Love the Christmas tree. In fact, I like this Christmas tree so much that I incorporated it into the overall design, which is what you see here. The idea is that we have this entire space paved, a very large patio. We have the upright boulder element in here, and then we specifically designate a place for your Christmas tree. This is the concept in reality that I'm trying to create in this location. Another thing that I really like about this idea is the element of landscape lighting once again on this. And then I have one other unique element that we could do in this area, and that would be the element of fire. In other words, we could do some sort of a gas like flame gas gas that burns, that's what I'm trying to say, in here, and create this kind of a feature in this location along with a gas fire pit or a normal wood fire pit. If you have a larger family function in here and you want to make this into a big festival, you need serving area. And that's where I came up with the idea of doing some sort of a table in here. This is an example of a table that I built. This is actually a concrete table, but it seats probably 10 or 12 people. So the table concept, I don't know that we would actually do a table in here, but definitely the serving concept, and have it be a silhouette of the shape of the patio that is in here, at least over this location. So that's a concept that I incorporated in here. The other thing is lighting. The way that we have focal lighting on these boulders and the pathway, but also having some sort of a party light through here would really bring a warm feel to this space. Let me show you how that is executed. This again is a job that we did. We built the table, we also did the lighting. But having something like this over this space would make this an absolutely amazing space at night. So the next thing you're probably looking at is, what in the world is this? The idea that I have in this space is to create a pool. And this serves two functions. One, a deeper pool that on a summer day could be very interesting to go into, like what you see here. Here's another shot of that same concept. But there's another reason why this is very, very critical with the overall idea of what we have going on in here. So right now you just have sort of a trickle of water that goes through here. But if you want to add more excitement to this area, then what can be done is, if we have a reservoir of water in here, then we can create more of a rushing stream. In other words, what we can do is we can pump out of this reservoir, put a pump in here, and have a rushing stream with waterfalls that come through into this location. So also we talked about the bridge. The idea is not just to have a flat, not so exciting bridge, but we can create a more eloquent bridge that would go across this stream area. So those are my fountainhead concepts on this particular project. What I presented to you is really only the beginning, the high points of it. I know that as we get into this job, more ideas will come to me, but my goal is not just to create a boring patio, but create an absolutely amazing space that your family will enjoy for generations to come. So we've looked at the patio, we looked at the serving area, the rock features, the fire features, the lighting, the wading pool, which is also a reservoir for an amazing rushing stream that goes through there. So give me your thoughts on what we presented, and I look forward to working with you and creating something that will be quite a landmark in this area. Thank you again, Corey with Creative Habitats.